Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Nanny News. It's your host, Ashley, and you can follow us on all social media platforms at The Nanny News. This week, guys, we're going to be talking about, are nanny cams legal? I don't know. I really don't. So let's find out. Sit back, relax, and let's dive to it. Okay, guys. So the question for this week are nanny cams legal? I'm just going to flat out and answer this question and say yes. In actually all 50 states, nanny cams are legal. So, nanny cams, so if you see the word nanny cams, it might not actually really mean a nanny cam, like they're actually watching you as being the nanny. It might be their security camera for their house. So, if you work in a house right now and they have cameras, they did not ask you or tell you, technically it is legal for them to do that because they are allowed to do that in their property. If they have cameras on the outside, they are allowed to have video recording there, but as long as it's their property and does not have anybody else's property in it. But now, where does it get illegal for illegal? And that's where we're going to get into. So basically, that it's legal. They can have cameras in the house, but when it comes to the audio recording, so them actually videotaping you and hearing you, they have to have some states. There's 11 states that has to have consent for them to actually video audio, like record your audio on top of the video. They can videotape you, but they cannot have the audio without your consent. There's only 11 states that are allowed for this to do it. The other 38 states, y'all, they can video retape you and audio tape you without your consent. Okay? So I want to put this out there. So the 11 states that they have to have your consent to use their audio recording. Remember, they can have the camera, but they cannot record your audio without your consent if you live in these 11 states. So if you live in California, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Montana, Nevada, New Hampshire, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Washington. Now, if you live in those states, they have to have consent from you to use the audio in their recordings. So now, where does this all go when things become like legal issues or court issues? So say that you get to a family and they did not have consent from you. You find a camera and you notice that they are actually hearing you, right? And you live in one of those 11 states. Then you can actually take that's illegal. Like you can take that and you can have a full-on case about it in the court system, and most likely you're going to win the case because technically that is illegal if you live in those 11 states to audio record you. Now remember, everybody can have cameras, but when it comes to audio, that's where you have to watch out. So my advice to you is that if you work in a family right now and you know there are cameras and you were not told they were cameras before you first got there, then you simply should just ask the question: is the camera audio recording me as well, or is it just security purposes and you just want to hear just see what's going on in your house? You have every right to ask those questions. And like I said, if you live in those 11 states, then those nanny families have to ask you it and have your consent to record the audio. I currently live in Nevada, so they have to have consent from me. I work in a home right now where there are cameras, but they are not called they're more for security purposes than anything. There's two cameras and they're angled at certain ways to catch things that happen in their house, say if anything bad does happen. They're not tend to watch me. I was told that before I moved in, and they asked me verbally if it was okay for me to do that, if they can have the audio on them. And I said yes. So that is my consent to them. They can ask me verbally, or they can have me write it down in the contract and sign it. Personally, if you live in these 11 states, y'all should have it in your contract, have it signed. I do not like the verbally thing because you can't, people can change your words around quickly. So if you like, so my advice to you guys is, if you have cameras in your house, make sure you ask your family, what is it for? Is it for me to watch me? Is it for security purposes? If it is to watch me, is it recording my audio? And if it isn't, if it is recording my audio and you live in those 11 states, then you need to make sure that they asked you to do that. And if they didn't, then you better bring it up, or I don't know what you're gonna do with that. That's up to you. I'm not gonna advise anybody to do what they want to do with that. But so why am I bringing this up? So the only reason why I brought this story up is because I actually came across two different type of stories in one of my Facebook groups that I follow, about some people and their nanny cam stories, and how they just have been some suspicious activity from their nanny family, and they believe it's because they are watching them on the cameras, and they just felt really weird about it. And so it just kind of brought me up, kind of got an idea in my head of, are nanny, is that even legal? Are they even able to do that without your consent? And honestly, guys, I learned a lot from reading these articles. I'm going to post two different articles. They both have basically the same type of information. But what I learned about this is just like, wow, it's legal to have cameras in your house in all 50 states. There's one state that is very different, very different, which is Vermont. Vermont has so many different laws and regulations. So if you are nanny and in that state and you have cameras, just please look up the Vermont rules, laws for that, because it's a whole nother story, y'all. But what it just was really brought an eye, and like caught my eye, that cameras are legal in all 50 states in your home. And it was cool to actually know that there's only 11 states where they can they have to have consent from, which is crazy to me that it's only 11 out of the 50 states. I think that's just really weird. I get it. It's all about people's privacy and property, and they own that, so they have the right to do that. But when you're asking nannies to come into your household, families, like, make sure you tell them there's cameras, because I'm guaranteeing you right now, if you don't tell them there's cameras and that nanny finds out there's a camera, I guarantee your nanny is not going to be doing her job the way that you would like her for her to do, because she's going to feel uncomfortable and feel like she's being watched. Nobody likes sitting there feeling like they're being watched. And parents, if you sit there at home and you at work and you sit and watch the nanny cameras for a good 30 minutes or plus, I'm sorry, but that's just unacceptable. Then don't hire your nanny. Okay. Like, if you cannot trust your nanny to have your kids, then don't hire a nanny. Now, I get it. I get it. People have separation anxiety. Parents have separation anxiety. I get it. There's a lot of things that can play a role into that. But if you're going to sit there and watch your nanny, then don't go home and tell your nanny, well, I saw you doing this. I saw you doing that. I saw you doing this and this. Like, don't, like, because if somebody, if my mom boss came or my dad boss came and said, well, I saw you in the camera doing this and I saw you in the camera doing that, like, it's just automatically trigger, you don't trust me. And so that would make me feel as a nanny that it's time for me to go, because one, you don't trust me, and two, is what you're doing sitting here watching the cameras. Because if you can't go off of my word by basically what we did for the day, then don't have me in your house. Okay, but I get it. Some families have a lot of trust issues. Maybe they had some issues with their nannies and they needed to set them up. And if that's the case, then you better tell your nanny as well, hey, we setting up these cameras. We feel like we need to do this. And if ands and buts about it, you let your nanny decide what they're going to do from that. But I just thought it was really cool. These articles are very informative. It seems like it's going to be the same type of laws next year in 2023. I know we just had a big election with Congresses and all that stuff, so things might start changing in some states. My advice to you is just to keep researching it, every new family that you start, to make sure that the laws are still up to date, so you're not walking into any problems. I'm going to read the 11 states off again. So if you live in these 11 states, then they have to have your consent to audio record their on the cameras. So if you live in California, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Montana, Nevada, which Nevada is new, added to the list. So I guess now there's 12, excuse me. New Hampshire, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Washington. So if you live in those states, then they have to have consent from you. The other states, y'all, make sure you watch your back and make sure you're educating yourself on what exactly is legal, illegal in your state for cameras. All right, guys. I'm glad I was able to share this with you guys. It's a short little episode, but it's very, very informative. I hope that you guys like this. But before I let you guys go, I really want you guys to, y'all, like, let me tell you all. So in about 2 weeks, it's about to be December 1st. Well, about 2.5 weeks. Well, maybe 3.5. I don't. Yeah, 2.5 weeks. It's about to be December 1st, which is crazy. I know. But I wanted to tell you guys that December 1st all the way to December 5th, 25th, there's a thing such as Vlogmas that happens on YouTube. And basically it's basically these YouTubers will post a story or an episode all the way from December 1st to the 25th, and you can do it every day. You can have your own challenges. I think for a while it used to be every single day, but then people realize it's truly impossible. I mean, it really is. um, so we, Nanny News, are going to be participating in Vlogmas this year, which I'm so excited about, you guys. So every Monday from starting in December 1st all the way to the 25th, you will have an episode. Every Wednesday, you will have an episode. And every Friday, you will have an episode. So there are 3 times throughout the week that you will get to hear and see Nanny News. Our Monday episodes are going to be dedicated to just announcing all things that are taking place in the nanny industry. So I'm going to be hitting people's DMs these next 2 weeks, asking you, hey, do you got stuff doing in December? Hey, you got something in December? Hey. So if you're watching this and you got something planned in December from December 1st all the way to the 25th, send me a DM, please, now, because I'm telling you, it helps me out so much. Like, I greatly appreciate it if you can send me a DM right now, and let me know. So Mondays are announcement episodes, so we're announcing all things. Wednesdays, y'all, Wednesdays are going to be so good, cool. Wednesdays are going to be our interview episode. We are going to be sitting down with, it's about three different interviews because it's about 3 weeks that we're going to be doing this. Our first week is going to be talking with nanny moms. We have 3 different moms. If you guys know, at Nanny Palooza, they had a good old conversation and they've been rocking it on social media, doing calls. They actually wrote an article on at cares.com. I'm going to be sitting down with 3 different nanny moms. I'm sure you kind of have a clue already. I'm not going to tell them who it is just yet, but just know I'm going to be sitting down with 3 different nanny moms. So that's 1 week. Our next week, we're going to be sitting down with a Manning, and now he is a business owner as well. I cannot wait for that one. That one's going to be super good. You just hear his experience as being a Manny in the industry, and then also how he turned his why into the business that it is now. And thirdly, last but not least, we're going to be sitting down with some college nannies. I know, a little different. I thought I would switch it up a little bit. But we're going to sit down with some college nannies. I found about 4 different nannies. I'm still waiting to hear they're going to sit down. I got 1 confirmed and I'm trying to get 2 or 3 more. But yeah, we're going to sit down and talk to them about their experience as being a nanny, but also being in school, how it works with their nanny families. Are they on contracts? Things like that. So stay tuned for those 3 episodes. Those will be juicy. Okay. Like one of the best ones. And then on Friday, we are going to be going back to our just a regular, juicy episodes. Our episodes are probably going to be gearing towards the interview that we did for that week. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, haven't put on those bell notifications, then please do so, because I'm telling y'all, in 2.5 weeks, Nanny News is about to be popping. Than it isn't already, because it's popping now, but it's about to be even more. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Like I said, I'm going to link these 2 articles that I talked about, nanny cams, on below. Like always, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about Nanny News, and tell them to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend. We come in for Vlogmas in 2.5 weeks. So I will see you guys next Friday for another episode. I hope you guys all have a wonderful and blessed week. Bye.